Oh, hey, didn't see you there. Let's see. All right, we're live. Wow, we got a little bit of delay in this live stream here. All right. So, wow. All right, make sure mine's not going here. Let me mute the stream. Anyway, if you are watching the stream right now, thank you everyone for watching during this live stream. I'm just going to be taking a bunch of different questions. We're going to be discussing the whole, market essentially, and when I expect that you'll actually be able to purchase some GPUs. I think there's been some interesting stuff happening with cryptocurrencies lately. We're going to get into maybe why that has influenced heavily why you can't get GPUs and when that might end. And then obviously we're just going to be talking about, when supplies will hopefully get back to normal. And wow, it looks like my hair is absolutely out of control. I need a haircut. I look like Kramer or something. All right, so let me pull up the questions here so I can read a few off, and then I'm going to go ahead and pull up some stuff for us to look at. So, someone says, cool, which do you think is better, Oris or Vision? Hold on. You need to do the spin? Oh, did you not see it already? All right, I'll do it one more time quick before we start. Here we go. Okay, so it looks like a little too close to the camera there. All right. I'll be reading some questions from the chat. I'm also going to pull up Discord as well, so if you remember the Discord, that's a good option. Yeah, I noticed my camera has decided to make me extremely white today. All right, awesome. I should probably fix that next time, but oh well. Which RTX 3080 is the best? In my opinion, the best RTX 3080s, this question comes from Robert Bullock, would probably be the Strix and the Tough, because I feel like the RTX 3080 Strix is just like the best card you can get, and the RTX 3080 Tough is probably like the best price per dollar type of card that you can get. What is the Discord? If you are a Patreon member, you get access to the Discord. It's just called Graphically Challenged. All right, let's see. Let's pull up the Discord. All right, get that up. Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to get back to the weekly Saturday live streams. So in any case, if you are watching right now, thank you very much for watching. And just in a minute here, after I answer a few more questions, we are going to start to look into your potential options for being able to actually purchase an RTX 3080, when that might occur. Yeah, geez, my screen is like blue. Hold on. Let me fix this real quick here. Configure video. What is this? Is this under contrast? White balance? Yeah, it's probably white balance. Oh. Hold on. Let's see. Maybe contrast? Whoa. All right. Well, I may have to mess around with that a little bit later, but I guess there's going to be a little blue today. You're just going to have to deal with it. I'll figure that out next time. Whatever. In any case, if you are watching the live stream right now, thank you very much. So we'll take a few more questions here, and then we'll start getting into some stuff. What's the worst 3080? In my opinion, basically any Zotac 3080 is the worst 3080 because they're typically they're more expensive than the Founders Edition. They have with the 3080, yeah, the cooler does a better job of cooling, but the actual power delivery is far worse from what I've seen. So yeah. Those Zotac cards have not impressed me in the least. Someone's saying, which 3080 should I buy? For me, the best 3080 is, I'll say it again, the Tough is definitely a really good one. The Founders Edition is a really good one. Basically, anything that you can get for under $800. I kind of do like the RTX 3080 for the Win 3 Ultra Hybrid because it's only $10 more than the for the Win 3 Ultra regular, and you get better cooling performance. So I kind of do like that one. Holy crap! I need a freaking haircut. Look at this. All right, well, that's the way it is. Yeah, Supreme X is a good card. It's just way too expensive. But in any case, I'm going to go ahead and bring up the Microsoft Edge because we're going to talk about, here, let me pull myself to the right here. We're going to talk about why maybe prices have gotten so out of control. Oh, hey, there we go. Now that I have like a white screen on me, it's not so bad. Okay. So if you take a look at the price of Bitcoin right now, so we're going to be talking a little bit about Bitcoin during this live stream. I know you probably all hate Bitcoin, but this is like, we need to talk about Bitcoin so that we understand why you can't buy anything right now. So Bitcoin right now is at $32,160, which is pretty incredible. And if we take a look at like since it started, you can see obviously it started way back at like $500. In fact, at one point I think you could get them really, really cheap. And then during the last crypto boom, we had like 2017 and 2019, there were kind of some crypto booms going on. It reached $14,000 then, kind of at its peak. Obviously it dropped way back down to apparently $3,400. So yeah, it had like a huge drop off. That's when everyone was selling off all their cards. Now we're here in 2020. 2021 is actually where we're at right now. This one's a little bit behind. But it reached actually a maximum of $40,000 in 2021. So when you take a look at that, it's just crazy to see that it's reached $40,000. You can see here if we take a look at like by month. Yeah, here it is. It reached $40,000 on Friday, January 7th. At that point, we were at like a total peak here. We were like peaking big time right there. And that's when things got horrible. That's when you couldn't buy any video cards whatsoever. So that's pretty much the main reason, in my opinion. Obviously, there's a bunch of other stuff going on. We have the whole everyone has to stay inside right now. So I heard the reports from somewhere, I can't remember where it was, that apparently Steam's like active users had doubled because everyone was sitting inside, had nothing to do. So you start looking at all this stuff and you're like, well, no wonder why you can't buy anything, because it was already constrained. And then all of a sudden Bitcoin mining, it went from $5,000, to mid like 2020 here, boom, right at the beginning of 2021, $40,000 for Bitcoin. Now, the good thing is, as you can see, it's dropped to $32,160. And if you look at past times in which it has peaked, typically it kind of peaks and then drops down. My guess is, and now I'm no crypto expert, but if I was to guess, I would say that cryptocurrency is going to probably plummet at some point here in the next 3 months. That's my guess. That doesn't necessarily mean that's going to happen. I don't have any inside information or anything like that. I don't know for sure. Just looking at the past and like the current markets right now, my expectation would be that it would drop. I know that there's a lot of people saying that because we've been printing crazy amount of money, people might start putting money into crypto, leading to it rising up. I understand that, but at the same time, is crypto really any less volatile than like the US dollar? I mean, yeah, the US dollar, it's going to see massive inflation, but are you really going to put all of your money instead of in the US dollar into cryptocurrency? Maybe some people, but cryptocurrency is like a big gamble at this point. When you're talking $32,000 for a Bitcoin, that's not, in my opinion, that's not a very good investment. Again, don't take my investment advice in terms of like, don't be buying or selling crypto based on what I tell you, because obviously I'm not an expert. What I'm seeing here is I'm guessing things are going to drop off, because in my opinion, the people who are saying that it's going to reach $100,000, $200,000 right now probably have an incentive to tell you that it's going to reach those prices. I don't believe that's going to happen, and I believe if that did happen, they would have a lot to gain. So I think there's a lot of people out there who are trying to get you to buy Bitcoin right now to try and raise the value so that they can sell their Bitcoin. That would be my guess. It's certainly possible. It could hit $100,000, $200,000. So you could end up kicking yourself for not buying some. That's certainly possible. It's something we don't know. But my guess is it's on a downward trajectory. It'll probably peak back up a little bit and then start to plummet. Everyone's going to sell off all their Bitcoin, and it's going to reach a point where Bitcoin mining is going to be less it's going to make less sense to mine Ethereum, because when Bitcoin drops, Ethereum will likely drop as well. And then all those people who are using GPUs to mine Ethereum are no longer going to have a reason to do that. And once that happens, you're going to start to see them starting to flip all their GPUs on eBay. The supply will start to be less constrained. Obviously, it's going to continue to be constrained for at least another 2 to 3 months, even if Bitcoin completely plummets, simply due to the massive amount of demand that's going on without their much unneeded help. But, for people who, again, don't take my investment advice, but like, if you're someone who wants to get into Bitcoin, like, buy when it's low, like here, like buy here. You know what I'm saying? Like, actually, don't take my advice. Don't be buying or not buying Bitcoin. But like, if I was going to buy Bitcoin, I'd buy it at between probably $3,000 and $5,000. I wouldn't be buying it at $32,000. That's insane, because even if it doubles in price, if you spend like $1,000 on Bitcoin, you've made what, $1,000? I mean, that's nice, but that's nowhere near as nice as spending $1,000 here and then having it raised to, $40,000. That's so, in my opinion, Bitcoin, it's going to have its peaks and troughs, and it's going to continue to raise in value in the long term. But I think we're about to see a big drop off, which is good for people who want to buy video cards, because obviously that's going to lead to less demand and less constraint on the supply. So we will see. We'll see what happens, but that's my guess. And if that does end up happening, you're going to have a better chance of buying video cards. But obviously right now, since I'm not clairvoyant and I can't tell you 100% if that's going to happen, all we can do is deal with the right now. Now, considering the fact that NVIDIA signed a deal with Samsung to make twice the amount of GPUs, they're reintroducing the RTX 20 series. Mining GPUs are probably going to be implemented into the system. It's looking like supply is going to get a little bit better, so hopefully if you are out there right now looking for a GPU, that should continue to get easier over the next couple of months. As long as Bitcoin doesn't suddenly surge, that should become easier for you. And one thing I want to mention is, if you're looking for, say, an RTX 3080 right now and you cannot wait, there is an option for you. So you obviously you can do things like follow bots and whatnot, but there's also the other option of buying a full pre-built system. And I know that some of you may not like that option. But when you look at stuff like this, and I do have Amazon affiliate links in the description below, and you see, I want to start with this one actually. You see an RTX 3070 gaming PC. Yes, it's a last generation Ryzen 5 3600, but again, it comes with an RTX 3070. Looks like in this image, it's the Gigabyte one. I don't necessarily know if that's what you're going to get in there. I have no idea what GPU it's going to actually ship with, because sometimes they show a picture and that ends up not being the exact one you get, but it looks like you're getting an AIB 3070, hopefully. The 8 gigabyte, obviously, because that's all it comes in. 16 gigabytes of DDR4 3000, not too bad. You could do a little overclocking on that, and you probably get some decent results on it. You get a 1 terabyte NVMe SSD, a B450 motherboard, 650 watt power supply, and Windows 10 Home. And you get all of that for $1,600. And when you take a look at what the GPU market is right now, spending $1,600 to get a full desktop system with an RTX 3070 isn't bad at all. Because right now, getting an RTX 3070 for under $700 is very difficult. So if you're talking about $700 of your own build yourself, that leaves you with $900 to buy everything that's in here, which is pretty fair. So if you can actually buy this and get it, that's not too bad. Obviously, I know sometimes these pre-built systems come with motherboards that you don't necessarily love, that you can always go out and change that out later if need be. Maybe you want to change out the RAM. That's something you could do in the future as well. But if you want to get into PC gaming right now, this is probably, in fact, I would say this is hands down your best option. And I'm going to talk about the other system in a second here too, but let's go ahead and answer a few questions from the chat. All right, thank you everyone for watching right now, by the way. Let's see if I missed anything, any super chats. Okay, let's see. Victor says, at this point, just wait or buy a gaming laptop. See, the thing is, you can get RTX 3070s, 3060 Ti's 3090s. 3080s are basically impossible to get. I think it's just because of the price point and how great they are at mining is why they're so difficult to get, would be my guess. Plus, there's just insane demand for RTX 3080s. 3070s, it's possible. I was able to buy some 3070s, one for me, one for my friend. I ended up getting a 3080 and then I sold my 3070. But you can get it if you're very vigilant. The 3080s, on the other hand, like, whew, good luck. Camille says, crypto crash when? I hear the opposite, to be honest. See, that's the thing is, nobody knows for sure what's going to happen to crypto, but just based on the past, despite the fact that there's going to be rampant inflation, I would guess that crypto is going to crash probably sometime this year. In my opinion, the people who are telling you that it's going to surge have a lot of money invested in crypto and want it to surge. Because if they tell everyone it's going to surge and they get everyone hyped into buying more cryptocurrency and it does surge, then they sell all of their money, and then all the people who just bought lose a bunch of money, and they get your money essentially, and then that's how it works for them. The way the market works is, for you to make money, someone else has to lose money. And so I think, in my opinion, that's kind of what's going on here. I know that there's definitely some reason as to why it could surge. I don't see it going much past 40,000 at this point. It's kind of like it peaked, it came down. I'm guessing it's kind of a small another peak again, and then it'll probably crash. But we'll see. I could be totally wrong. Again, don't be buying or selling cryptocurrency based on my advice. I'm by no means a professional investor, so. But at the same time, honestly, the long-term move would be, like, if you bought crypto really cheap, it would just be to keep holding on to it, because my guess is someday it probably will hit like $200,000 or something. All right, let's see. Truth Seeker says the 3060 Ti is also good for mining, good power consumption, good luck getting one, plebs. Yeah, well, the 3060 Ti, I did see quite a few of them on launch that you had an option to get. Of course, you only have like seconds to get it, but I did see them. All right, let's see. $3070 MSRP. 3070 is $500 MSRP, I believe. So try not to get something too much more than that. So in any case, I'm going to show you the second system that's a potential option if you aren't willing to wait for RTX 30s to come in stock, because obviously that's going to be very difficult. It's like specifically the RTX 3080 is incredibly difficult to get right now. Like I can tell you, like you will, if you're very vigilant, you will eventually be able to get an RTX 3070. Likely a 3060 Ti. 3090s, like, again, if you're watching them, it seems like those come in stock fairly frequently. You are able to get them. But when it comes to 3080s, those things like basically don't exist. So your option to get a 3080, in my opinion, at this point is basically to buy a full desktop. So I'm going to show you what I'm looking at here right now. Again, I have an Amazon affiliate link in the description below to this system. I really like this system. It's $2,600. Obviously, that's expensive, but for a full system with a 3080, it kind of sounds about right. You get a Ryzen 9 3900X. So yeah, it's a last generation CPU, but it's a 12-core processor. On top of that, you also get an RTX 3080. You get 16 gigabytes of DDR4. They don't tell you the speed. I don't like that. Let's see if we can find 3600 CL16. So that's pretty good RAM. So you get some good RAM. You get a 1 terabyte Generation 4 SSD. So what that tells me is it's probably an NVMe PCIe 4 SSD. That's great to see. Awesome. And an X570 motherboard. Also great to see. Hopefully it's a decent one, because they're putting a 12-core in it, so I would hope it to be a decent one. But with an X570 motherboard, you can just flash the BIOS and get a Ryzen 5000 series chip in there if you want, so I really like that. It's got 360mm AIO for that thing, so that's pretty cool, and an 850-watt power supply. So this has like everything you need. I really do like this system. For $2,600, if you consider that right now it's incredibly difficult to get an RTX 3080 from anywhere for under $1,000, I mean, if you were going to break down and buy from somebody an RTX 3080 on eBay right now, I mean, if you want me to show you, I'll show you how horrible the eBay prices are on RTX 3080s right now. It is unbelievable. Hold on, I just spelled eBay wrong. Here's your option, basically, for buying a 3080. This is your option. Like I said, you can get 3070s and 3090s, but 3080s are very difficult to get right now. So here's basically your option. If you look up 38, here, let me look up RTX 3080 to narrow it down. Let's do that. And then if we, I'm having a bit of a slowdown here. Okay, let's see. And then if you sort by, where is it? Sold and completed. And then we sort by buy it now, because there's a lot of people who are bidding things way up because they're angry, which, by the way, don't bid things way up, because that's actually, I think you can get in trouble for that. So don't do that. I know you're angry, but don't do that, because you could end up getting yourself in a lot of trouble. So don't do that. So sorting by buy it now. Here's what 3080s are going for: $1,400, $1,400, $1,500, $1,400, $1,450, $1,450, nearly $1,700. Here's one for $900. That's not too bad. $1,500, $915. So it looks like the majority of cards, like basically the cheapest you can get in RTX 3080 right now, is $1,400. So if you consider that you could buy a GPU right now, the only 3080 you can essentially buy right now is one for $1,400, unless you're sitting in a queue at EVGA or something. Yeah, that already brings this down to the rest of the parts would essentially be costing you $1,100, because realistically, as much as I'd like to say the 3080 is a $700 card, clearly the market has determined that it's a $1,400 card now until things calm down. So instead of spending $1,400 on an RTX 3080, which makes no sense at all, you might as well buy a whole system, because when it comes to the 3080, again, that's pretty much your only option. You can get a 3070, you can get a 3090. I know it's not easy, but you can do it. You can potentially even get a 3060 Ti. We'll see about the 3060. That might be something that comes in stock regularly, and you have an option to get as well. We'll see. But with the 3080, you're not getting the 3080 until the crypto mining thing until it's done. It's just not going to be possible until mining is over. That's my thought on it. Until mining is over and people stop buying 3090s, you're not going to be able to get a 3080. And that's just the way it's going to be. So essentially, here's your option. Again, an Amazon affiliate link in the description below if you are interested in this. But it's $2,600. You're getting a Ryzen 9 12-core processor, a 3080. You're getting 16 gigabytes of DDR4 3600 CL16 memory, 1 terabyte PCIe 4 SSD, X570 motherboard. You're getting all of that for $2,600. In my opinion, that's actually a pretty good deal. I kind of like the look of the case. And so I wanted to bring this up because there's a lot of people who have been waiting super long time for an RTX 3080 to build a computer. And if you don't have any parts right now, my advice to you, your best option for an RTX 3080 specifically is to buy a full system. This is where we're at right now. If you want to change parts in it later, that's great, because I know that part of the PC experience is building your own computer, and I agree, that's awesome. But when you're faced with nothing at all or buying a pre-built, there's your option. So that's kind of what I think about the RTX 3080 right now. You're either going to buy it in a pre-built or you're not going to buy it at all, because it is really, really hard to get. Yeah, you could, if you wanted to, you could also buy the full PC and sell all of the parts of the PC and just hang on to the case or something for another build if you wanted, and then just take the graphics card. It's something you could do. Obviously, it's going to be a little bit more expensive way of buying a video card, but is it more expensive than buying a video card for $1,400? Probably not. So just tuned in. Did he talk about the 3060 Ti yet? So yeah, if you want, we can look at 3060 Ti builds. Let's see if you can find one. Because again, this may be with the 3060 Ti, you might be able to find one. I've had luck finding 3070s, so maybe 3060 Ti's. I used to see them coming in stock, so you might actually be able to buy one. So this you may have another option. Obviously, right now you can't buy one unless you want to spend $1,000 on a 3060 Ti. Yeah, no. Yeah, here's a 3060 Ti system for $1,500. That's not horrible, but I kind of don't like this as much as the other system. with the 3070, because you're kind of on like a dead end platform here, Z390. You can't really do much on that 3070 system. B450 will potentially be able to, you'll be able to flash it and put Ryzen 5000 chip in there if you want. So, all right, let's see if we got any super chats. If I missed anything, okay. So let's see. Yeah, here's your other option. If you want to get an RTX 30 series card right now and you're not willing to wait to see if crypto crashes, or you're not willing to wait to see if availability gets better, your other option would also be, if you live near a micro center, they do get them in from time to time, and that's probably your best option. Micro Center, I've had a friend who got a 3080 from Micro Center. There have been 3070s available. There's been Ryzen 5000 series chips available, which, by the way, I'm curious. I wonder if I could just look up Ryzen 5000 if it'll be in stock. Probably not. But let's... Oh, not Ryzen 500. 5000. But let's see. Asus Tough. No, yeah, this is... Well... What are they going for? Ooh, you can get a 5600X for a cool $400. Yeah, no thanks. That's ridiculous. What's this one going for? Yeah, I mean, $540, that's too much. $450 is already too much. No thank you. That's not good. So yeah, it's hard to get Ryzen chips, but not as hard, it seems. I've seen them come in. If you want a Ryzen chip, and you can, if you're following bots and whatnot, you can also find those. I suppose I might as well, since this month I'm going to be doing 2 sponsored videos for stock drops. If you're not following stock drops, that's a great resource. That's how I was able to get 3070s. But I'll be making another video showing you the best method to get an RTX 3080 soon as well, or 3090 or 3070 if you want as well. I'm going to be doing that soon. But as for right now, yeah, if you want a GPU right now and you cannot wait, my advice is Amazon affiliate links in the description below. Again, gotta plug that. I would just buy a full system. It seems like basically your only option, whether it be this one or I kind of really liked that 3080 system we're looking at. Here. This is hands down going to be your best option for a 3080. 3070, if you can't wait at all, you can also buy a full system though. And while this is a pretty good price overall, I think you can get a 3070. Like, you have enough there's enough opportunities to get a 3070 that I wouldn't say like that your only option is to buy a pre-built. You can get a 3070. But 3080, no. You got to buy a pre-built or you're not getting one. That's just the way I see it at this point. All right, let's see what people are saying here. Gotta get hydrated. Drink that water. Some good old gamer water. All right, let's see. Is $5,000 for a 5950X and 3090 system too much? Well, if the 3090 is $1,500 and 5950X is what, $800, $850, and that already puts you at, $2,350. That sounds like too much to me. $5,000, because you're talking about, I mean, what else is in there that is creating another over $2,000? Everybody be a real great system inside there. I could see 4,000, but 5,000 seems a bit much. Gaming with Modernith says, am I going to at least have a chance to get a 3060? That's a good question. I'm going to be trying very hard to get a 3060 because I have a lot of people in my family who have a little bit older video cards. Like my girlfriend has a 1070, and a 3060 would be a perfect upgrade for her right now. So there's a lot of people who I know who could really use a 3060. So I'm going to try my hardest to get 1 or 2 different 3060s. I don't know if that's going to be possible. We'll see. But yeah, that's. I'm guessing it's going to be pretty difficult because having 12 gigabytes of VRAM is really nice. So but I don't know. Maybe them reintroducing supposedly the leaked that I covered not too long ago was they're going to be re-releasing the 2016 2060 Super. That might help availability a bit. So we'll see. All right, Dark Pancakes has a good question here. He says, "What monitor is optimal for the 3070 1080p 240 hertz?" Well, it depends on what you're looking at. I mean, if you're into like super competitive gaming, that's all you do, then yeah, 1080p 240 hertz makes sense. To me, what makes the most sense is 1440p 144 hertz. I think we're starting to move towards 1440p becoming the standard now. 1080p has been the standard for a very long time. I think. On a 27-inch monitor, 1440p looks so much better than 1080p that it's worth losing a couple frames to get 144 hertz 1440p. But obviously, if you're someone who's like playing only competitive games or you're a professional gamer, then yeah, the 1080p 240 hertz would be a much better option for you. It just depends on what you're into. How do you get a 3070? So it could, I don't need. I'm not gonna try and pronounce that. But he says, how do you get a 3070? And so I'm gonna have like a whole video on showing you how the best methods to get some of these cards. And if you do follow, if you watch the video, I'm gonna put out probably this coming week here. If you do follow those steps, you'll have a very good chance of within 1 to 2 weeks getting the card that you want, in my opinion. Obviously, if crypto suddenly hits like $100,000, then it doesn't matter what you do, you won't be able to get one. But I do have a lot of different methods that you can, if you follow, you'll get yourself a much better chance of getting one of these cards. 3080, that's gonna be hard no matter what you do. It's just very, very difficult. But if you're looking at 3070, 3060 Ti, 3090, any of those cards, basically, to make it simple, and I'll show you a lot more in depth in what exactly you have to do in the video that I put out this week, but to make it simple, if you follow the Stock Drops bot, and you have your phone on you at all times and you have like your payment ready to go, you got a good chance of getting one of those cards. Like, you should within a week to 2 weeks be able to get one if you're vigilant, if you're fast. You just got to be faster. But I had two-step factor authentication on like not only my Newegg account but also the payment method I was using, and I was able to do both 2 steps and still order a 3070 twice by using this method, simply because I was there before anyone else, because I got the notifications and I had my phone on me and I was ready to go. So if you're someone who you don't even have 2 steps factor set up, you got a really good chance of if you follow those methods, being able to just like get one like bang. So, but unfortunately, if you're someone who just wants to walk into a store and buy a card, that ain't happening for probably 6 months, because even if crypto crashes in the next 2 to 3 months, or maybe 4 months, it's still not going to be like you can just buy it whenever you want. Even in that case, there's still going to be extremely high demand. So you're still going to have to do things like follow bots. Rayan Gaming says, do you think a 2nd gen i7 could run a 3060 Ti? I think that's a good question. In my opinion, if you've got a quad-core 8-threaded i7 2nd gen, if you overclock it and you're playing at a resolution like 1440p where the CPU matters less, it shouldn't be any problem whatsoever, in my opinion, as long as you have good DDR3 memory, like some of the fastest DDR3 memory you can find. But if you're running like really slow DDR3 memory, you're not overclocking the 2nd gen i7, and you're using like a 1080p 240 hertz display, I think it's a bad move. So it just depends. Do you have a good overclocked i7, a 2nd gen with good memory, and are you playing at a more GPU bound resolution, or are you in the other camp of you got like cheap DDR3 and you're playing at really high frame rates? It kind of depends. Let's see. All right. I'm going to go ahead, and we got a lot of viewers here. Thank you everyone from watching. Utente Ordinario says, can you recap? So, okay, if I'm going to recap everything I've said so far, here's what I'd say. I believe, based on what's going on, and again, never take anything I say as advice for you to buy or dump Bitcoin. Don't do that because I don't want to be held responsible. I'm definitely not an investor, so don't take my advice in terms of buying or selling like stock or Bitcoin or anything like that. I'm not telling you to do that. I'm just saying, in my opinion, I believe based on what everything that's going on right now, plus what's happened in the past, that it's likely Bitcoin is going to have a crash at some point in the next 4 months. I know there's people who have reason to believe, and there is legitimate reason to believe that Bitcoin could reach like $100,000 or $200,000. It's possible. I don't think it's going to happen. I think that they want that to happen, and they want you to buy so that they can sell. And I think that will lead to much better availability within the next 3 to 4 months in terms of video cards for gamers. So I think that's good news in terms of, again, it's just what I think is going to happen. I don't know for sure. I can't tell you. And then on top of that, I was just talking about how you can potentially get 3070, 3080, following bots, having your phone on you. Your only option for 3080 would be to click my link in the description below and start looking at pre-builts. Which one was I looking at? Like this one right here, where it's actually not a bad deal. $2,600. You're getting a 3080. You're getting a 3900X. You're getting 16 gigabytes of DDR4, 3600 CL16. You're getting a 1 terabyte Gen 4 PCIe SSD, an X570 motherboard, 360 millimeter AIO, and an 850 watt power supply. It's actually a pretty good option. Is basically your only option to buy a 3080 right now. In my opinion, because 3080s, while you may have a chance to get a 3070 or 3090 or 3060 Ti, I tried for 4 months to get a 3080. Like following bots, having my phone on me and everything, I could not get one. I could get other GPUs, I could not get the 3080. The only way I was able to get a 3080 is because I was staying in line, and I signed up on day 2 for the 3080 for the Win 3 Ultra. So that's how I was able to get it. So if you're not in line for one, you might not be able to get one for a long time. So you may just have to go the pre-built route, which, I mean, you're talking $2,600 for all this hardware. It's actually not bad. Like, typically I'm pretty against pre-builts, but right now, this is definitely your best option, in my opinion. How to get GPUs in Europe? Well, I'm trying to play Roblox at 8K. I can't like fully tell you how to get GPUs in Europe, but it pretty similar. If you're looking at 3080, buy a pre-built would be my suggestion at this point. If you're looking at other cards, follow bots. That's basically, you just have your payment ready. That's what I gotta say. But yeah, with price increases and everything else, I mean, even if you want to buy, even if you happen to find an RTX 3080 right now, from someone like Asus or something, it's gonna be like $900 from them, even if you had the chance to get it from them. It's not gonna be $700. So we're looking at a situation here where 3080s, they're so expensive and they're so hard to get that at this point, I'd say if you're looking at 3080 and you have to have one, buy a pre-built. That's what I need to say. And if you are going to buy a pre-built, use my Amazon affiliate link, because why not? Tell you what, though, you can get 3090s. I don't think you should buy 3090s. I think it's unhealthy for the market, for us to be telling NVIDIA it's okay to buy $1,500 GPUs, but heck, you can buy them. If you've got the money to blow and you need a GPU now, you can buy a 3090 basically almost every single day you have a chance. They go live and they stay up for minutes. I've seen some of them stay up for like 30 minutes and stuff like that. You don't see that with any other cards. The 3090s are purchasable. 3070s are the second easiest to get. It seems like, in my opinion, and I say easy because they're with these because they're not easy. It's just the second least difficult, I guess. Yeah. Someone said if 3080s are going for 3090 prices on eBay, you might as well get a 3090. In a way, I kind of agree with you. Like, it's still not good to buy any GPU around that performance range for like $1,500. It's not worth it. But if you have to have a GPU now and you're not going to buy a pre-built, and your option is buy a GPU from someone who I would consider to be basic, well, they're not stealing, but it's just like they're going out there and they're buying hundreds of GPUs with the intention to create extra shortage to sell it to you. I really don't like that when people are buying like hundreds of cards just to resell them, hundreds of any product to resell them. At that point, if it's give someone money for basically screwing up the market, or give Nvidia money for screwing up the market, give Nvidia the money. Like if you're gonna buy a 3080 for $1,500 from a scalper, yeah, buy a 3090 for $1,500. Don't. I mean, if those are your options, like, do not encourage the scalpers. They do not need any more encouragement. Is Best Buy a good place to buy a pre-built? No, because I don't have an Amazon affiliate link to it. No, I'm sure it's fine. I'm just saying that. Ooh, just spent $1,011 for a 3070 on eBay. That's rough, my guy. You should not have done that, because you could have clicked my affiliate link right here and you could have bought this whole system for $1,600 with the 3070. And in my opinion, that's a much better deal. Hey, they're still in stock. send that 3070 back. Buy a pre-built. I don't know. It's whatever. But in any case, yeah. All right, let's see. What will be the price of a 3050? I got all my parts and I'm waiting for a GPU. When can I get it? My guess would be a 3050 will probably be... Gosh, they're pushing prices so high and they're not even making Founders Editions anymore because they can't enforce the price. My guess would be if the 3060 is at $330, which, you know, it sounds good in this current, with everything that's going on, it sounds good. But remember, the 960 was $200, what was it, $250 or was it $200? Either way, if we came from $200 to, or $250 to $330, I'm pretty sure it was $200. If we came from $200 from the 960 to $330 for this 3060, inflation has not risen that much, not even close to that much. So we've come up so much in prices, and I'm guessing that's going to reflect in the 3050 Ti and in the 3050. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the 3050 is like $200, which is, oh, that is so bad. That's so bad. $200 for a 50 class GPU, and it's going to seem so good based on everything else. It's going to seem like such a deal. Oh, gosh. What happened? What happened to the prices? This is ridiculous. I mean, you take a look at something like the 970 versus the 3070, and one of them's $500. You can't even get it for $500. But even if it was selling for MSRP for $500, and you compare it to, what was it, $380 for the 970, and if you do the math, inflation, it should be at like $415 or something. So NVIDIA's asking so much more than inflation has caused right now, and it is ridiculous. It started with the Turing series, and it's just, people bought it when Turing, and now it's just gonna stick. Like, I not an Apple fan, and I both were talking, and we were like, we tried to tell people, like, don't buy these GPUs at these prices because it's not worth it. And people decided that it is worth it. Like, you can't fight. If people want to pay that much money, they're going to pay that much money, and you can't fight with them. So at this point, you know, I'll still tell you 3090 is not worth $1,500, but people have determined it is, and they're going to keep buying them at $1,500. So I guess we're stuck with $1,500 GPUs, because if people keep buying them, they're going to keep selling them. I mean, I can't control the market. If people think that's what it's worth, then that's what it's worth, I guess. So yeah, you used to get 102 dies for like $600-700. Now they're $1,500, and that's just the way it is. So I'm kind of, I'll always try and, you know, push for the best value GPUs, but at this point, you can't stop people. I've just learned that you can't stop people from spending $1,500 on a card. If they have a bunch of money and they want to spend $1,500 on a card, they're gonna do it, and that's just, it's here to stay. I wish we would put our foot down and say no more than like $700-800, but People aren't going to do that. And then you look at stuff going on right now, like with crypto, and crypto's determined that 3080s are worth $1,400 now. I can't control the market. They're worth $1,400 now, I guess. So, Slaughterhausen says, is Adorama legit? I don't like sites. Like, I'm sure they're legit, but I do not buy from websites other than like Amazon, Best Buy, Newegg, just like main websites. Do not buy from any other websites except for these main retailers or local stores, because what they're gonna do, I've seen this time and time again with websites that you've never heard of before. I'm not saying that Adorama specifically does this. I don't know, but my guess would be, based on my interactions and other stories from other people who have bought from websites that you've never heard before, is that they say they have stock, but because their website isn't fast enough to keep up with what's going on, they're actually way behind, and it will be like 5 months before you get something. So don't buy something from one of those websites is my advice. Yeah. Is $700 good for 3070 Ryzen 5 5600X or 3070? All right, so is $700 good for 3070? Like, no, it's not. That's horrifically expensive. But right now, if that's your only option, that's up to you. Like, it's better than buying it on eBay, I guess. But I would just buy it in the full system like I was showing you. Someone says Adorama is pretty legit, no different from Newegg. Well, yeah. If you've had good experiences with them, like I said, I'm not saying, I'm sure it's fine. I just, me personally, when I see a website that I've never seen before, I don't deal with them, because too often, like, it's not like they scam anyone. I've never seen a website just scamming people, but it's just too often I've seen not well-known websites say they have something in stock, but they don't, because the demand's so high that their system can't keep up, and then you end up on a waiting list. So that's what I don't like about websites that aren't super well-known. Dokamine says, I got my 3070 a month ago from Micro Center and I'm loving it. Well, congratulations. Yeah, I think, like I was saying, you can get a 3070. It's not easy, but you can get one. How long does this pre-build take? Well, like this one's saying fastest delivery is February 3rd through 8th. So you're talking like what, a 1 to 2 week delivery here. Probably closer to 2 weeks delivery. That's really not that bad. Let's look at the other one. Yeah, same, February 3rd through 8th. Again, not bad. So yeah, you'll probably get it in about 2 weeks or less would be my guess. So yeah, again, if you are going to buy a pre-built, again, I got Amazon affiliate links in the description of this live stream. So do it there. If you're going to buy one, do it there. Even if you're not, here, I'll tell you this much. Even if you're not going to buy a pre-built, if you're going to buy anything on Amazon in the next 24 hours, use those Amazon affiliate links, because since they are affiliate links, I do get a small kickback from, I think the way it works is any purchase you make, like in the next 24 hours or something. So why not if you're going to buy it anyway? Oh yeah, Shadow Universe saying the bad part about Newegg is those bundles. Shake my head, Newegg trying to take my moolah. Yeah, it's like, I mean, at least they're not raising the prices of the cards, but yeah, Newegg is constantly like trying to get you to buy like 2-3 other things with the card, and they used to let you send them back, and now they don't. So that's not great. Pre-builts don't have the Founders Edition, Crunchy Bacon says. Yeah, so pre-builts may not have the 3080 Founders Edition, but in my opinion, although the Founders Edition does have very good power delivery, I would say it's probably it's not one of the best 3080s, simply because the cooler isn't one of the best. It's good. It's got a good cooler, but there's plenty of third-party 3080s that crush it. Now you take a look at the 3090, and that cooler is mind-blowing. I mean, it's like 3-4 degrees worse than a 240 milliliter AIO cooler. So the 3090 cooler, I wish that was on the 3080 because it's an incredible cooler. The 3080 or the 3090 Founders Edition, in my opinion, is the second best 3090 on the market. You basically have the Asus Strix, which with its like 500 watt BIOS, and that's super expensive. Then I'd say the 3090 Founders Edition, it only has 400 watts, which it will crush right against that 400 watt limit if you're using it. It just demands more power than that if you're overclocking. But so that's the only shame about the 3090 Founders Edition, is that it has the best power delivery system, yet it's limited to 400 watts for overclocking. And I really wish they would have included with the 3090 Founders Editions some like triple 8-pin to 12-pin adapters instead of dual 8-pin to 12-pin, and then like a BIOS switch for a 500 watt version. Because if the 3090 Founders Edition had a 500 watt BIOS and 3 8-pins, it would be the best 3090, and for the cheapest you can get a 3090 as well. So that's why I really like the 3090 Founders Edition compared to all the other 3090s. It's when you talk about the price to performance, it's basically the best out of the 3090s, even though price to performance has basically already been thrown out the window because you're spending $1,500+ on a GPU, which is crazy. But hey, I guess that's what frickin' 3080s are worth now. So what do I think the best 3080 is, says Aero Acer C. I feel like the best 3080, I mean, like the best in terms of maximum performance is probably the Strix, but realistically, the best 3080s for me price to performance would be the Founders Edition and the Tough, simply because they're the cheapest cards you can get, and they get so close in terms of performance that it's kind of a wash. I do really like the 3080 for the Win 3 Ultra that I have, because you can throw that thing, you can buy like the water block for it, or not the water block, you can buy the all-in-one cooler for it, and it looks amazing, and it gets you some extra cooling performance. I kind of just like EVGA's whole ecosystem, so I really like their card. It's just, in my opinion, the Strix has, I believe it has better power delivery. I may be wrong, but I think it does. And out of the box, it has a bigger like power limit. But you can flash the 3080 for the Win 3 Ultra to a 450 watt BIOS, and it actually flashes itself. Like, it has a program that you download it, and then it just runs and like pulls up the CMD and flashes itself. So it's really nice. There's a good question. Mix789 says, what do you think about the new lottery system that Newegg has implemented now? Personally, I'd really prefer Best Buy's Q system. Yeah, I think Best Buy's Q system is better. The lottery system's like kind of a step in the right direction, but my problem with it is that it's not going to stop scalpers or miners or anyone else who wants to buy hundreds of cards. They will just make hundreds of accounts. What needs to happen, in my opinion, is there needs to be some sort of personal identification that needs to be shown for you to purchase an item, to limit it to one per household. So they need to like see your driver's license and cross-reference it with the database from the state or something like that. I understand how difficult that is to implement, but realistically, that's the only thing that's going to stop this. Your social security, maybe, that seems like a security concern, so that's probably not a great idea, but like something like your driver's license or like credit card being held on file, and then if you try and check out again, it tells you, hey, no, we saved the last 4 digits of your credit card, and you cannot purchase another one of these items for another 30 days or something. Like, they need to save some sort of information from you and use it to cross-reference to not allow you to purchase multiple. It's so like the second that you buy a 3080, in my opinion, the best option would be to save basically the last 4 digits of your credit card, and then just check if you come back into repurchase. I mean, yeah, they could maybe have 10 different credit cards, but I mean, can you really get hundreds of credit cards? Not really, unless you're stealing credit cards. So, I mean, that's a whole other issue. So realistically, even people who have a bunch of credit cards could only get so many, and I think that's probably the best method. Yeah, Raging Blade said, could I buy a pre-build, salvage the 3080 and sell the parts or something? Yeah, you definitely could. I mean, you could buy this system, $2,600. It's probably one of the best prices I've seen for a pre-built with good specs. Like, these are all good specs. And you could pull the 3080 out and sell pretty much everything else. But it's... you kind of be better off trying to salvage most of the parts, like use most of them. Like, you could maybe you don't like the motherboard and you replace the motherboard or something, you know, or maybe you replace the RAM. But this has pretty good RAM. At least it seems like it. Again, if you are watching, you're gonna buy a pre-built, use those Amazon affiliate links in the description of this live stream because you might as well. All right. All right. Hey, I have two questions. When does your next video come out, and which 3070 is the best and least loudest? So probably least loud. So my next video will be out on Sunday because my schedule is Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, sometimes Thursdays if there's extra news that needs to be shared on Thursdays, and then Friday. And then I stream on Saturdays. So I typically I put out content 5 to 6 days a week on this channel, depending on if I put a video out on Thursday, which I don't always do. Obviously, when there was like the 30 series coming out, I was doing like almost every Thursday. But then after the 30 series come out, it's kind of like every other Thursday. I'll kind of put one out then. So yeah, that's my schedule. You can basically guarantee every single week: Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and then streams typically on Saturday, but not 100% always, because there's been a couple times where I wasn't able to do a stream, but I try to get a stream out every Saturday. Oh, and then you were saying what's the best 3070? I don't really know, to be honest with you. I haven't looked as much into 3070s. I know the 3080 and 3090s pretty well. Oh, awesome. Richard Martinez says, I got a 3080 by following Twitter bots. One of your videos pointed me to that direction. Thanks. Yeah, I'll be making a follow-up video to that, probably kind of discussing, again, just quickly going over the market and then showing you your options of getting cards right now and going a little bit more in depth to show you, because some people, there's like a step that they're not doing that can really bolster your chances by like 3 or 4 times of getting a video card. So that's a video that I feel like I need to make, because for people who are desperate to get a video card at this point, like if you want a 3080 right now or something, it's been, I think, over 4 months at this point. I'm like, yeah, I need to revisit that topic and point out a few things that were missed. All right. Chalkin says, just curious, what mic do you use? I actually use the Blue Yeti. What is it called again? It's like the It's like the Blue Yeti Pro. I think it's just called the Blue Yeti Pro. Yeah, it's the one with the XLR cord. I'm not even using the. I'm just have it plugged in by USB still. What am I doing? I mean, it works fine with USB, so whatever. But I actually just ordered 5 new studio lights. So right now I have a light here and a light here, and it does give me pretty good lighting. But I got some newer lights that I can control more, and I'm gonna have those 2 lights are gonna be there, and then I'm gonna have one that shines above me, kind of, to try and get like 3-point lighting going on. So the quality of the video should look a little bit better. I should stand out a little bit more. So that should be good. And then I also bought two other studio lights that I have like, they're full LED, and I can do a lot of control with that. And so those will be awesome as well, because then I'll get to, I'll be able to do a lot more B-roll shots. Because right now, in order to do B-roll, I have to take these lights down. Like they're called, why can't I remember the name right now? They're soft boxes, and soft boxes are difficult to move around. So I'm getting like the same brand of soft boxes, just like better versions for me. And then for the product photography, I'm getting like these really nice LED ones where you can even make different colors. They can go from, I believe, like 2600K to 5600K or something like that. So you have a whole range of different lighting you can do, and just lighting effects and all kinds of stuff, and they're just way more portable. So then you should start to see more and different types of B-roll making its way into my videos, because it'll be so much easier for me to do B-roll that it'll take less time and I'll be able to do more of it. So that'll be good. Someone said, what makes the build worth 2600? I built a computer with 6800 XT and 10850K for 2295 on CyberPower PC. Is that good? Yeah, that's good. I mean, if you can get a 6800 XT from CyberPower PC and it's less, that's good. I don't know the rest of your specs, so that can factor into it. I mean, this computer we're looking at has a 1 terabyte PCIe 4 SSD, DDR4 3600 CL16 and X570 motherboard, 360 millimeter all-in-one liquid cooler, and 850 watt power supply. So those are all like very good specs, and it also has a 12 core Ryzen 9 3900X. The 10850K is a really good value, but it depends on all your other specs, and like getting a 6800 XT for that is pretty good. I'm surprised you're able to do that. All right, someone says, is the M27Q monitor good, and what's a good second monitor with 1440p 144 hertz? For a second monitor, if you're not like playing games on it, just get like basically the cheapest crap you can get. It's like, seriously, I'm using like this horrible 1080p monitor. Like, I'm not saying 1080p is horrible. I'm saying this is a horrible monitor. It's tiny, it's awful, but I have no problem with it, because all I do is like read chat on it and throw up files on it. That's all I do. Like, because all I do is like drag files while I'm working in Premiere, Photoshop. That's all I need it for. It doesn't need to be high refresh rate. It doesn't need to be expensive. It just needs to be light, small. That's fine. Talking about monitors, though, before I wrap this stream up, because I am going to be wrapping it up in probably the next 10 minutes here, so if you do have questions to get in, right now would be a great time. I'll try and get to your questions. Obviously, going to be difficult because there's a lot of questions coming in, so if you want to do Super Chat, that's a great way to do it, but of course you don't have to. So I want to touch on monitors for a second, because I have been using the PG27UQ monitor recently, and if you don't know what that is, it's an HDR 1000 4K 144 hertz monitor. I got it on eBay for like less than half the cost, because it had a few scratches on it, which of course when you turn the screen on, you just can't even see them at all. And I gotta say, guys, HDR is like completely, it's like looks way better than anything I've seen. Like HDR 1000, true HDR, if you go with HDR 1000 and up, with a good quality panel, it looks way better than, is more transformative than, say, like ray tracing. I think HDR, it's still a little bit buggy in Windows, but it's starting to get there. All the new games are starting to implement it. I'm really impressed. I'm really glad to get back to 4K, because I really like it for working on videos and photos. And there's a new monitor coming out. It's the PG32UQX. It should be coming out in the next couple of months here. I'm going to try my best to get my hands on one and review it. If not on this channel, then maybe on the second channel that I will be starting here, which, by the way, don't worry about me. Like, if you're getting freaked out when you say second channel, oh no, he's going to abandon this one. No, I'm definitely not abandoning this channel. This will always be my main focus. I will continue to put out 5 to 6 different content pieces every single week on this channel. Again, I put out 4 to 5 videos plus 1 live stream on this channel, and that will stay the same. As always, this will be my main focus, but I found myself with a little bit of extra time now. So I'm going to take that extra time and put it into making a different kind of content on a second channel. So I will be starting a second channel to put extra content on, because I have extra time now, in addition to everything that I'm already currently doing right now. I'm going to try my hardest to get that monitor, but the PG32UQX that's coming out is a 32-inch 4K 144 hertz, I believe, true 10-bit panel with HDR up to 1600 nits of brightness, and it's a mini LED. monitor with 1,152 backlight dimming zones, which is crazy. I mean, that's basically as close as you're going to get to OLED. It's not quite as good as OLED, but it's going to be pretty close to as good as OLED, minus the not quite as good response times as OLED gives you. Because OLED just has, like, the pixel response times are incredible on OLED, which is crazy. But that's basically, if you're looking for a monitor, that's going to be the best thing you can get. Now, we can only hope that it's not ungodly expensive, because if they're trying to, even though it's like technically my job to review hardware and all that sort of stuff. I mean, if you're starting to ask like $2,500, $3,000, $4,000 for that thing, I can't do that. I don't care how good it is. That's just too much. That's Systems Reality Team says, I'm watching you on my 65-inch 4K OLED. OLED is the way to go. Awesome. Yeah. OLED's great. If you can get a 120 hertz OLED screen, that's great. All right. Someone says, can you do a review of the RTX 3070 XC3 Black Gaming? I might be able to do that on my second channel starting soon here. Like, if I start getting cards, I'll probably just upload those videos over there. But I'm thinking of doing some more... I'm probably not going to do too many reviews of new hardware on there. I might review some like old rare graphics cards on that channel, or just really interesting stuff like that crazy monitor I was just talking about. Otherwise, I was probably just going to do some wacky content on there. Maybe fry a steak on an Intel CPU. Maybe I'll... I was going to call up like a retailer and pretend to be someone who's mining graphics cards and try and order like 300 graphics cards or something and see if they do it. Basically let them expose themselves. Obviously, I'm not going to actually purchase 300 video cards. I just want to see if they would like even entertain the thought. I wouldn't even start the process. I would just want to see, are they actually doing this? Like, are retailers actually like talking to people and saying, yes, we can. Basically, I'd ask, is it possible to do this? I'm not going to like fool someone into trying to send me video cards or something. Obviously, I'm not going to do something like that. It's just getting them to admit that they're actually doing it. But in any case here, I'm going to wrap this stream up here in a minute here. So I know I probably missed a few chats here. Get your last few in, and then I will be wrapping the stream up. So what's a good 3070 for a good price? Ooh, that's a good question. Anything under like $800. Mike Silver says, this isn't Review Tech USA. I always remember the Expose song you put out. Yeah. Can you link to the 10850K 6800 XT build? I cannot, because I did not see it. I don't know about the M27Q monitor. I can look it up real quick, but I don't know. So let's see. M27Q, that's a pretty short name. 170 hertz, 1440p. Let's take a look here. All right, come on. Gosh, Microsoft Edge is so slow. I only use it for streaming so that I can have my separate browsers, but... All right, 170 hertz refresh rate, HDR 400. So here's the thing about HDR 400. HDR 400 is not HDR. It just isn't. It's the bare minimum standard. Like, a good monitor will be 350 nits of brightness. This is saying it can have a peak brightness of 400 nits. So that's a little bit better than your typical monitor. Like, it's better than not having HDR, but it's not HDR. So just take that as it has slightly better brightness. 92% DCI-P3, that's all right. I would say really good is like 97% and above. 140% sRGB. What? I'm a little confused here. DisplayPort 1.2 and 2 HDMI 2s. That's not bad. Let's go down to the specs here, this thing. All right, so let's see. Yeah, so the brightness, typical 350 nits. That's pretty good. It's got FreeSync. That's a must. Let's see. 11 pounds. Jeez, that's a little expensive, or a little heavy. I hope that's with the stand. Let's see. IPS, that's good. And of course, it's 1440p. I don't really see like any response times or anything, unless I'm 58 watts max. That's not too bad. I think it looks pretty good to me. It's a little expensive at $360. But it does have pretty good specs. They're saying 0.5 milliseconds response time. Yeah, right. It's probably between 2 and 5 milliseconds. That's not too bad, though. F40PH says, say my name so I feel special. Well, there you go. All right, I'll answer a few more questions here. In terms of the M27Q, yeah, it's certainly not bad. Let me, like, you probably could find something that's like a better deal, but I mean, you are getting some pretty good specs here. Like, I wouldn't say it's not worth it. Like, you might be able to find something similar for like $300 though, or $320. You just have to do a little research. Will the 3080 Ti be worth the wait? Not really. In my opinion. I mean, that's just for me though. Like, I don't know. It's, if you can buy it, then yes. But I mean, it's not gonna be much faster than a 3080, and its saving grace is double the VRAM. So I mean, for gaming, if you don't need the extra VRAM, then no, it's not worth it. But if you need the extra VRAM, then yes, it's worth it. So it depends on. It'd be worth waiting instead of buying a 3090 for $1,500 to buy that for $1,000 if you can actually buy it. Then yes. So it really depends. Yeah, what is up with Rich and the horses now? I see him like getting recommended to me. He's always got horses. What is the horses? I don't get it. Well, he may have horses, but I've got gamer water. It's me a staple. Graphically Challenge talked about crypto exposed. Let's get into it. All right. Okay, I'll answer one more and then we'll wrap this up. Let's see. Is it worth upgrading my 2060 to a 3060 or should I go higher? I don't really feel like an upgrade from a 2060 to a 3060 is that good. Now, if you sell your 2060 and then buy a 3060, it might be worth it then. But in terms of pure performance, if you're just going to outright buy a 3060 and hang on to the 2060, to me, it's not a big enough jump. It's nice to have double the VRAM, though. But in any case, I think I'm going to wrap this one up. So thank you, everyone, so much for watching. Hopefully, I helped you get an idea of how you can potentially buy a video card or when that might actually occur. Otherwise, that's all I got for this one. I will see you tomorrow because that's when my next video is coming out. So thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.